I was practicing this morning for about 3 hours, which is about normal for me. And I had some thoughts about other things I wanted to get to in the practice session. So I was trying to push myself a little bit. And I kind of got to a point where I was feeling uninspired and kind of disconnected from what I was practicing. I practice jazz in the morning, and so I'm improvising a lot. And it just reminded me that it's important to be aware, self aware enough to know when to stop, because I think there is a point of diminishing returns in our practicing where we just aren't going to do us any good by continuing. So, anyways, just thought I'd just share that. I think it's just important in our practicing to feel inspired with what we're practicing, especially if we're trying to be creative, especially in the context of composing or improvising. But so many of the greats have been very, very critical. Sonny Rollins said he doesn't listen to any of his recordings because so much of what he hears is the flaws. And Alan Holdsworth was like that. Alan Holdsworth was regularly saying that what he just played sucked. And there was a concert that Herbie Hancock and Michael Brecker played. I mean, they played a lot together, but this one concert, Herbie Hancock tells the story of after the show, Herbie was really enthusiastic about what Michael had just played. He was just blowing the doors wide open and impressing everybody with his playing as normal, as usual back then. And Michael was just beating himself up. He just couldn't stand what he had just played. And Herbie was like, "Man, that was amazing what you just did." And John Coltrane was like that. And so the thing is that it's good to be critical of our music and our art, because that's what allowed those guys, and motivated those guys to get as good as they did. They weren't walking around thinking that they're the shit, that they have so much more to work on and so many areas to improve at and in. So I put out a video of me playing one of my tunes a couple days ago, playing solo guitar. And there was just so many things about it that I wasn't happy with. And I was thinking about taking it down. But then some people had some nice things to say about it. So then it made me think, well, maybe there's some value in leaving it up. Maybe there's some value in the music that people can get from it. So I've left it up. It is just a solo guitar performance of original composition. It's my tune, Introspect. And it kind of weaves in and out of compositional and improvisational sections. And yeah, there was just so many issues in there that I was hearing. And so it got me thinking, what's the solution here? And I came up with some answers that I thought I would share, because I think it's valuable for us to think about it in this way. So I was realizing that I haven't been practicing on this guitar specifically. I have on my other guitars actually, playing solo guitar, without a metronome or without a loop. And that's something I have done in the past, but I just haven't done it recently. So in that clip that I shared, it's no metronome. No, I'm playing along with nothing. It's just solo guitar. So I'm relying on my own time. And I was dealing with pedals. And so there was just a bunch of stuff that I was doing that I wasn't prepared for, really. I just figured, I'm always playing guitar, so let me just sit down record myself playing my tune and share that with people. There was no second takes or anything, so I just went off of the first take because that always has, for me anyways, the best energy. That's when you feel most inspired usually, is that first, maybe second take. And so the thing that we don't want to do is critique something that we've done and just leave it at that. In other words, to just listen to something that we just did or play something that and then critique it and think, well, that sucked. Because if you just leave it at that, it doesn't lead to anything. You just then think, well, what am I going to have for dinner? It doesn't lead to progress if you just say, well, that sucked. So in my own process here, the solutions that I came up with is I need to start practicing playing my tunes, solo guitar specifically, practice weaving in and out of the compositional parts with improvising. So I need to spend more time practicing improvising solo guitar, which I'm going to talk more about that in a minute, while doing that with pedals, because I like to have some pedals in there as far as like using the freeze pedal and delay and stuff. And I need to practice filming myself more playing, because that's another added kind of element to get used to get comfortable with. Because it's one thing to record ourselves on our phone. Just the recording part of it, or on tape. But it's another thing to film ourselves playing, and it's another thing to film ourselves and then think that we're going to share that with people. That's another added kind of element to get used to. I think that playing solo guitar is the hardest thing to do. And I think it's another step in difficulty if we're playing solo guitar while keeping our own time and playing in time. A lot of times when we hear guitarists play solo guitar, they play rubato, they play out of time. And then it's another level to play solo guitar while improvising. So improvising while keeping your time and making music happen, basically, I think that's the hardest thing to do, at least for me. And I know I'm not alone in this. I know a lot of great guitar players that think along these lines. So I need to just work on that more. And I've mostly been on this guitar for the practice in terms of practicing improvising. I've been practicing with a loop, and then I'll practice that 4-fret exercise that I've talked about in the guitar lesson section here on the channel, which I'm going to get more into that. But I need to just spend more time. I want to continue doing those things. But that's playing along with stuff, right? With the 4-fret thing, I'm practicing with a metronome. And then with the loop, I'm practicing against static harmony. So I'm listening to the loop. So that's playing along with stuff. So on this guitar, I just need to spend more time just improvising, relying on my own time. And like I said, I need to practice doing that in the context of my tunes, while juggling the pedals, while recording myself, while filming myself. And so I'm looking forward to getting that going, because I think that's the solution to my problem. So if you're feeling down about your playing, just know that is a good, or it's an important part of the process that's going to lead you to become better. So don't think it's, don't think that it means that you suck forever. It's a cliche, but no pain, no gain. And I think that's the painful part of playing music, and the painful part of, or one of many of the painful parts of being an artist, is just thinking what we just did sucked. And so if you're feeling that way, just try to take a step back and try to figure out specifically why it sucked. And then once you identify why it sucked, then you can get in there and create solutions. And I hope through the videos I've already made and the videos that I will be making in the future can help some of you to come up with solutions for these issues that we all deal with, you know, as musicians and artists that are evolving. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for watching.